Well, the John Coinman Band performs on Saturday at Club Congress in a benefit for Rhythm and Roots, and we're going to now join them live with Gregory Sweet in Studio 2A. Take it away, gentlemen.
Thanks so much, Kathy. We've got a real treat for you today with John Coinman and his group here to serenade us this afternoon live in Studio 2A. And John, welcome back to KXCI.
It's great to be back again. Great to be here with you, Greg, and Susan Holden, and for Rhythm and Roots, and Kathy Rivers. As always, great to have you back in town. I'm glad you're not in St. Louis anymore.
That's great. Well, you've got a nice little trio here to play some songs with us. I want to point out that we've got Larry Cobb on drums and Blair Forward on bass, and the show tomorrow night is going to have a quintet with you. You're also going to have Neil Harry and Peter McLaughlin join you at Club Congress. And
Jim Lipson,
who's
going to be doing some percussion, and Heather Hardy is going to join us in the second set to do some incredible violin. So we're going to have quite a crowded stage up there, and it'll be a lot of fun.
All for a good cause, too. This is as a fundraising concert for Rhythm and Roots. And for more information on the show tomorrow night, we can go to the website at rhythmandroots.org or by calling 440-4455. The show starts at 7:30 tomorrow. Doors open at 7 o'clock p.m. Should be a great show. John, I want to talk a little bit about your background. I know you live in Tucson now with your family, and so do Larry and Blair. That's great. But I know you're originally from northeastern New Mexico.
Yes. Yeah, I'm a Clayton, New Mexico guy, up in the northeastern, the Kiowa grasslands up there, and I grew up. Spent the first 14 years of my life in a little town that was 2,000 people and had one paved road that went through the town, and all the rest of the streets were caliche.
That's great.
I just think about that off and on, but it's there's a whole host of people that come from that, not in Clayton, but close to it. Buddy Holly recorded a lot in Clovis, New Mexico, south of Clayton. And there's a whole lot of great musicians out of Lubbock, Texas, which is, not more than 100 miles away from Clayton. So I don't know what it is that breeds musicians out there. Maybe it's the lonely winds.
Dry air.
And the dry air. But I used to sit in my house, and I saved my money and bought one of these plastic radios back a long time ago, and I could listen to Roy Orbison on that radio, and that's what inspired me. Roy Orbison and a few other, like Marty Robbins and the Everly Brothers. So I used to listen to them while I looked out on the lonely, windswept plains.
That's terrific. I was listening to you guys warm up on a song a little bit ago. I'm not sure if that was the one you wanted to play first, but
Oklahoma City.
Yeah. Can you play that for us?
Yeah, we'll play you that song. And it's a little kind of a dark song. It's about the bombing in Oklahoma City, but we don't get a chance to play this often. But we really enjoy it. So we'll play that for you now. It's called Oklahoma City. Drove into Oklahoma City when the sky was cold and clear. I didn't have no expectations, though I know what happened there. I was out in California back in 1995. I heard a blast that rocked the nation. I saw the smoke pour through the sky. High above Oklahoma City, high above Oklahoma City, high above Oklahoma City. lady there named Doris. She still goes down there every day. She had a daughter in the building with a baby on the way. Out there on the sidewalk, I saw a picture on the fence, along with all the others. You know, it still don't make no sense. Down on the street in Oklahoma City, down on the street in Oklahoma City, down on the street in Oklahoma City. There's a town that still remembers, and there's a country stood instead. And generations, they will come and they will go. They won't forget what happened there. Far away in crumbled cities, oh, this goes on day after day. How people take it, why they're the ones to pay. Far away in Oklahoma City, and far away from Oklahoma City, far away from Oklahoma City.
Wow, thank you, John. Hauntingly beautiful is the way I would describe that song. I was so glad you played it. Thank you. And we are interviewing and talking with the John Coinman Band. There's Larry Cobb on drums and Blair Forward on bass, joining John here today for promotioning of a big show tomorrow at Club Congress that will be a fundraising concert for Rhythm and Roots. Very important group here in town. More information can be available for you on the concert, which doors open at 7 p.m. at Club Congress tomorrow evening, and the show starts at 7:30. Information, rhythmandroots.org, or by calling 440-4455. Susan Holden's here with us, too. Susan, would you like to talk a little bit while you're close to the mic here? Sorry for putting you on the spot.
I just want to thank these wonderful musicians that represent Tucson and that are so giving. This is really a special community, and we've got some of the best and the cream of the crop right here.
Oh, great. And we want to point out, too, that Heather Hardy, Peter McLaughlin, Neil Harrian. Who else did you say, John, was going to be joining you tomorrow?
Jim Lipson.
Oh, wow. This should be a great show tomorrow.
He's going to be on percussion and play a little harmonica if I let him, because I play harmonica too. But,
so a little friendly competition.
I'm just going to say, and I don't, just that's it, no more. So, but no, Jim is a great musician also, as a percussionist and a harmonica player and a singer. He's really pretty amazing. So we're going to have a great lineup.
Oh, you're going to have
tomorrow.
A great show tomorrow. And I want to point out something that I had heard a long time ago, but was reminded today, was that of your friendship with the actor, singer-songwriter Kevin Costner, and that you were also the musical director for that movie that he put together up in South Dakota, Dances with Wolves.
Mm-hmm. It's a long story. It's a long. Can
you give us the abbreviated version?
It's a very long and sad story. No, actually, no. Just to abbreviate, we had a band together back in the 80s. He used to come out and listen to me play in the clubs in L.A. Uh-huh. And we were in a movie together, and for a kind of a cheap movie, and I ended up kind of on the cutting room floor, and he was the star of it. It was a movie called Stacy's Nights, and but we became friends during that time, and like everybody in L.A., actors always want to be musicians, and musicians always want to be actors. And it's easier for a musician to become an actor than an actor to become a musician. But we put a band together, and Blair here was in the first band that we put together. And then that dissolved because Kevin Starr began to rise. And then we kept in touch and did a lot of musical things together. And then 8 years ago, we began to put a new band together, and we've been together ever since. We traveled all over the world playing. We've got Larry and Blair are in the band, and myself are the chief rhythm section, and Teddy Morgan is our lead guitar player, producer, and also one of the songwriters. And as a lot of people probably know Teddy from the Tucson days, he's a wonderful musician. And Park Chisholm is with us also. He's another guitar player from Nashville. And then we use a fiddle player, 2 or 3 different guys we work with. But so that's the nuts and bolts of it. I mean, I could go into a lot more detail, but I don't think anybody cares.
That's real good. By the way, I think, didn't he have you in some of his films that
he has.
So that singer-songwriter became an actor then, right?
Yeah. Well, and sort of. I mean, I don't want to even get into that.
That's okay. That's okay. What do you got?
I don't want to be an actor anymore. I like being a musician and playing with these guys, in spite of themselves.
Well, why don't you crank another one up for us? What have you got up next?
Well, I just want everybody to know we do play happy songs. However, we wanted to do this. I really liked Oklahoma City. I don't get a chance to sing that very much. But this next song is a song called Orphan Train, and excuse me, it's a song that Kathy Rivers started writing and got. I'm not sure how far along into the song that I got involved in it, but she had written quite a bit of it, and I really loved it. And so basically I just asked her if I could kind of finish it for my own self. I mean, so that I could record it. And she said, "Yeah, you go ahead and work on it." And so I worked on it, and this is it.
Well, the orphan train rolls on down the track. Not one foundling dares to look back. We were born round yonder and left to roam. 200,000 children all alone. All aboard the orphan train. All aboard the orphan train. We're bound for Kansas City and we won't be back again. All aboard the orphan train. I got a paper in my pocket with a history upon it. My daddy was an Irishman. My mama's eyes were green. And the trace of 20 words upon it said I was their baby. Yeah, by morning light. It won't mean nothing. All aboard the orphan train. All aboard the orphan train. We're bound for Kansas City and we won't be back again. All aboard the orphan train. And that rusty-sided, wild-eyed mirror rots us all to sleep in the hours when we all weep. And a whine and a roar that will hear forevermore. It will live inside of me. All aboard the orphan train. All aboard the orphan train. We're bound for Kansas City and we won't be back again. All aboard the orphan train. Well, I hear that many people will be waiting at the station, and each one finds a child they like and takes him home. And I pray that every one of us finds someone who is kind, 'cause the back of every hand is all we've ever known. All aboard the orphan train. All aboard the orphan train. We're bound for Kansas City and we won't be back again. All aboard the orphan train. Just to give you I know we don't have a lot of time here, but give you a background. That was it was funny. Kathy just came in. Background to that. Back in the industrial, revolution, back in the late 19th century and early 20th century. I mean, there were literally hundreds of thousands of orphans left on the streets in New York and all along the East Coast in the industries, cities of industry there, and they just people abandoned them and they just loaded them on trains and drove them out west.
It's an interesting history. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, and it's an amazing history, and a lot of them landed in Kansas City. I mean, they would literally put thousands of kids on a train, take them to Kansas City, and just drop them off, and people would pick them up, and who knows what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. I had no idea that Kathy had started that song.
No, she did. It's
amazing.
It's a great song. Anyway. Don't want to be a downer.
You're not. It's just two beautiful songs.
Play a lot. In fact, we probably won't play this or Oklahoma City tomorrow night because we got a lot of happy songs.
You got too many people in tears out there after that. Let's point out too, John, that you're going to be doing a wonderful service tomorrow evening at Club Congress, which will be a fundraising concert for Rhythm and Roots. It will be opening doors at 7 p.m. tomorrow. The show will start at 7:30. In addition to Larry Cobb, who is here today with us on drums, and Blair Forward on bass, we're going to have an amazing lineup of talent with you tomorrow evening, including Peter McLaughlin, Neil Harry, Heather Hardy, and others. So I want to be sure and point that out. We like to support local talent here at KXCI, and we especially like to support local organizations like Susan Holden and Rhythm and Roots, who provide some incredible musicians at Plaza Palomino in the past. And this will be a great cause that everybody can go to and hear some wonderful music tomorrow night at Club Congress. How about if we go out on one more song?
Yeah, and I just want to say that I first went to one of the Rhythm and Roots concert series shows at Plaza Palomino many, many years ago. I was taken there by a guitar player friend I was playing with, Tim Wiedenkeller.
I know Tim.
who introduced me to Larry.
That's right.
And Tim took me to that show, and I can't remember who was playing there, but it was a huge. I mean, it's a really cool audience, and the whole setup was great. And I had basically just come into town, and had recorded one of my first solo CDs, and Michael Landwehr here at KXCI, the program director at that time, had said it really kind of liked my music and started playing it. And so I sort of started to find a home here in Tucson after wandering the streets of L.A. for 13 years, and prior to that, San Francisco for 10 years. So coming here and finding that, and then going to see that Rhythm and Roots concert, and I thought, and I would, you know how kind of you can vision some things sometimes, if you can vision yourself doing something, and I did that. I thought, wow, I could be there. I could play on that, on that stage. And then I met Jonathan Holden, and we started a great relationship. So,
and Susan's done such a great job with this. And,
so it's great.
So this is a good cause. Club Congress tomorrow. John Coinman and his band, among others, Heather Hardy, Peter McLaughlin, Neil Harry. 7 o'clock doors open, 7:30 p.m. for the show, for a fundraiser for Rhythm and Roots. More information at rhythmandroots.org or by calling 440-4455. Let's go out with one more.
Okay, this is called Love is Everywhere.
Thank you, John.
This is for the innocent ones in the prison yards, for the children lost in the battle scarred. This is for the wanderers in the old cafe, for the lonely girls and the runaways. I remember long ago when you told me love is everywhere. I remember there were times I could almost feel it in the air. Now it seems as if there's almost too much suffering for the world to bear. And it seems as if so many of us can't find love anywhere. But I know it's there. And this is for the old ones who are all alone, for the refugees who are far away from home. This is for everyone who's struggling to be free, and for us in them, for you and me. Oh, I remember long ago when you told me love was everywhere. Yeah, I remember there were times I could almost feel it in the air. And now it seems as if there's almost too much suffering for the world to bear. Seems as if so many of us can't find love anywhere. But I know it's there. La, 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 la. La, 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 la. is everywhere.
John, thank you so very much.
All right,
It
thank you
really is
so
a
much for
pleasure
having
to
me
have
here.
you here this evening.
And it would be great for people to show up tomorrow night, and we'll have a really lot of fun.
Club Congress tomorrow evening, 7:30 is the show, which is a fundraiser concert for Rhythm and Roots here locally. Doors open at 7 o'clock. More information is available online at rhythmandroots.org or by calling 440-4455. Come back and see us again, guys, would you?
All right, thanks again, Duncan.
Thanks, Duncan.
For taking care of us here in the studio. Thanks, Kathy. Thanks, Elliot, for taking great pictures. I hope they're good. And Susan, Susan, thank you so much for keeping this thing alive.
John Coinman Band, live from Studio 2A.